You wake up in Tudor England. The year is 1550. You have 24 hours to survive. Spoiler alert, you won't make it past lunch. Not because of war, not because of some dramatic execution, but because literally everything around you is trying to kill you. The water, the food, the air, even the doctors. This is why you wouldn't last 24 hours in Tudor England. Let's begin. It's 6 a.m. You're thirsty. You reach for a glass of water. Congratulations, you just signed your death warrant. Tudor water came straight from the Thames River, and the Thames wasn't just a river, it was an open sewer, a corpse dump, a toxic waste site that would make modern environmentalists weep. Every household, every business, every butcher shop dumped their waste directly into the river. Human excrement, animal carcasses, rotting food, all of it flowing into the same water source people drank from. 1 in 8 accidental deaths among Tudor women happened from drowning while fetching this poisonous water from slippery riverbanks. The water was contaminated with typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. Drinking it was basically playing Russian roulette with medieval diseases. So what did Tudors drink instead? Beer for breakfast. Not because they were partying, because beer was literally safer than water. The brewing process killed some bacteria, making weak, small beer the only beverage that wouldn't immediately destroy your intestines. Imagine if every morning you had to choose between certain death or day drinking just to stay hydrated. Welcome to hour 1. Drink the river and you roll the dice. Drink the beer and you might see lunch. You survived the beverage choice. Now you need food. Bad news? Breakfast is going to finish what the water started. That meat on your plate? It's rotting. There's no refrigeration, so meat spoils within hours in summer. Tudors covered it in expensive spices, not for flavor, but to mask the smell of decay. You're literally eating decomposing flesh seasoned with cinnamon. The bread looks safer, right? Wrong. Tudor bread often contained ergot fungus, a natural toxin that causes hallucinations, convulsions, and gangrene. Your fingers and toes literally rot off while you're tripping. 1 in 3 meals caused food poisoning. Not food poisoning like I feel queasy. Food poisoning like I'm violently expelling fluids from both ends while my organs shut down. And that milk? It came from diseased cows with tuberculosis. Pasteurization won't be invented for another 300 years. But let's say you somehow survive breakfast. Now you need to use the bathroom. Your body begs for mercy. The food fights back, and the worst is still ahead. Bathroom time. Brace yourself, it gets worse. There are no toilets in Tudor England. None. Your options are a chamber pot in your room, or just the street corner. Most people chose the street. They'd squat in alleyways, and if you were fancy, you'd dump your chamber pot out the window into the street below. Walking through Tudor London meant dodging human waste raining from above. People literally shouted "Gardy-loo," a warning that feces was incoming. For toilet paper, a communal sponge on a stick, shared with everyone, never washed. The wealthy had slightly better options. King Henry VIII had a groom of the stool, an actual job title for the person who wiped the king's butt. This was considered a prestigious position because you got close access to the monarch. Your career options were starve in the streets or wipe royal buttocks. But here's the good news. You'll probably be too dead to worry about hygiene. Everything runs downhill, and into the river you drink from. You're running out of time. It's 10 a.m. You need to go outside. The moment you step into a Tudor street, the smell hits you like a physical wall. Imagine a landfill during a heat wave. Now add rotting corpses. Now add sulfur. Now add the concentrated waste of 50,000 people with zero sanitation. The streets are covered in a toxic soup of human waste, animal carcasses, rotting food, and industrial runoff from tanneries and butcher shops. And walking through this nightmare, plague victims, there's no quarantine system, no isolation. Sick people just wander around freely, coughing and bleeding and spreading disease to everyone they pass. Rats are everywhere, not cute pet rats. Massive, aggressive rats carrying fleas infected with bubonic plague, the plague that killed up to 62% of England's population during major outbreaks. 1 bite, 1 flea. That's all it takes, and you can't see the fleas. You can't avoid them. They're on every surface, every piece of clothing, every doorway. The mortality rate for plague victims was 90%. 9 out of 10 people who caught it died, often from the cure, and the ground never stops opening. You made it to midday somehow, but you're feeling sick. Doesn't matter whether it was water, food, or fleas, you need a doctor. Let's say you somehow avoid the plague, you still have to interact with people. Say the wrong word to the wrong person. Execution. Look at someone funny, accused of witchcraft. Sneeze at the wrong moment. Clearly you're possessed by demons. There are no trials, no lawyers, just accusations followed by torture, followed by death. Your survival depends entirely on not offending anyone with power.